Appreciate you guys for rocking with your host, Gabos. We got bizarre prison escape attempts caught on camera. To be honest, I never understood why they think prison breaking is so bizarre or crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's prison. It is prison, right, that you're trying to send these guys to. Now, granted, who cares about the crimes that they commit? Obviously, some could say that, yo, you commit the crime, you gotta do the time, and you should have seen prison coming. But at the end of the day, we're humans. Half the crimes we commit them not even thinking about the consequences. So a lot of these guys, I ain't gonna front. When they get caught, it's like, oh shit, what did I do? So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm surprised these guys are trying to break out of jail or break out of prison. It's like, it's prison at the end of the day. It's the closest thing to hell. So we're gonna get right into the bizarre prison break attempts caught on camera. Hit the like and subscribe button for your boy for more content.
A veteran corrections officer apparently fell in love with an inmate and helped him escape with her so that the two of them could run off together.
5 real prison escape attempts caught on camera. They say if you do the time, you do the crime, but none of these prisoners were ready to do that. Starting with Rocky Marquez, whose escape plot worked so well, he pulled it off twice. Number 1, Rocky Delgado Marquez. Meet 34-year-old Rocky Marquez. He was charged with drug smuggling, perjury, and driving under the influence. He was supposed to be awaiting extradition from Wayne County Jail, Michigan to Phoenix, Arizona, when correction officers realized that Rocky was not behind bars. Prison footage showed that he had let himself out of prison 5 days earlier, right under their noses. On January 20th, 2013, Rocky switched ID wristbands with another inmate who was about to be freed after posting bail and strolled right out of the Detroit jail. That happened 5 days ago. As if that wasn't embarrassing enough for law enforcement, there was one more twist. Rocky had pulled this exact ID switch before, 8 months earlier. In May 2012, Rocky was behind bars in Arizona when he switched bands with an inmate scheduled for release and went on the lam for 8 long months. He was finally tracked down in Detroit, Michigan on January 15th and arrested with a loaded AK-47 at his side. 6 days later, Rocky had broken out of that prison as well with a 5-day head start. But if Rocky was hoping for another long vacation, he had another thing coming. A month later, he was apprehended by U.S. Marshals in Mexico and taken back to Phoenix to face trial on his now much lengthier charges. In 2014, he pleaded guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 18 years behind bars. The inmate who switched bands with him was also charged with assisting an inmate's escape. If you think Rock's escape was crazy, wait till you hear about how this prisoner's family pulled a fast one on a whole prison to get him out. Number 2, Derek Estelle. On the afternoon of the 28th of July 2013, 33-year-old Derek Estelle was making a phone call at the Garland County Jail in Hot Springs, Arkansas, under the watchful eyes of 2 police officers. Derek had been behind bars since March for stealing a truck and going on the run, which led to a standoff with SWAT. He'd been charged with aggravated robbery, breaking and entering, and burglary, among other things, and was now awaiting trial. That afternoon, the officers watching Derek make his call got distracted by an elderly man who needed help. In that instant, Derek dropped the phone and jumped across the counter by squeezing through a 2.5-foot wide, 1-foot tall window.
How do you fit through there, bro? How?
Made a break for the jail's door, running out into the parking lot and into the alleyway, where he climbed into a waiting car. A deputy was right behind him, but by the time they made it to the lot, the car was pulling away. They did get a good look at the getaway driver, though. It was Derek's girlfriend, Tamara Upshaw. Minutes later, the car was found abandoned, but the two were long gone. Officers were
I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna give her flowers for being a real one. You know what I mean? That's some real shit to do for your partner. Like, at the end of the day, like, I ain't gonna front. Anybody that you with, anybody that you're in a relationship with, I'm not gonna say they better be prepared to go to jail for you, but at least you want to know that they got your back no matter what. No matter what. But we're gonna have to give her flowers for being stupid, son, because now you come on, bro.
Convinced that this was a planned escape, and their first suspicion fell on the elderly man who distracted them from Derek. Turns out his name was William Harding, and he was the getaway driver's stepfather. William was arrested and taken into custody. After officers reviewed Derek's phone call, another arrest was made. This time, it was Derek's mother, Glenda Estelle.
They're arresting the whole family tree?
Asked her son if his shackles were off, and is there 2 or 3 in there? Also, in the month leading up to the escape, escape, they exchanged 40 calls full of random details about planning the escape. 3 weeks later, Derek was found at an abandoned home in Santa Rosa County, Florida, where he was living with his girlfriend. The lovebirds were arrested without incident. Derek pleaded guilty to second-degree escape and was sentenced to 40 years in prison, plus an additional 35 years for the original charges he was facing. But that wasn't...
Bro, he got 40 years for escaping jail. He got more years for leaving the prison than the crime that he actually committed to get there in the first place. Damn. Yo, the tax that they put on you, oh my God, they taxed him. They taxed him.
Wannabe Houdini. The following year, he attempted to escape the Bowie County Correctional Annex. But
I mean, at this
homie's
point,
help, Derek climbed a fence, got caught in the razor wire, and was transported to the hospital. While those two families are cooling their heels behind bars, our next two prisoners are about to roll out of prison in the most...
I would like to see what the
way.
girlfriend would have got.
Number 3, Justin Stumler and Jeremy Hunt. Around 10 p.m. on the night of October 6, 2018, activities at the jail kitchen of Louisville Metro Department of Corrections, Kentucky, were winding down. A couple of prison inmates who were working in the jail's kitchen wheeled food trash cans outside the facility for disposal like they do every night. It was a regular activity at the prison, so this night seemed like any other. That is, until two heads popped out of the trash bins and two men slipped out. They were Justin Stumler and Jeremy Hunt. Jeffersontown police had arrested Jeremy in June on several felony burglary charges. Justin was arrested in August
Out the
on
trash
charges of
bin.
vehicle theft, possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, and felony drug possession. Both men were held at the minimum security facility and had met the requirements for work placement. The two men dashed behind a nearby dumpster and quickly stripped off their prison clothes. When they were done, one prisoner returned to the bins to get their clothes. Fully disguised, the two men calmly walked away from behind the dumpster, ready to join the outside world. But it all went downhill from there. If you'd like this channel to go uphill, make sure you subscribe down below right now. 2 days later, on Monday morning, Justin, clearly not the brain of the operation, went door to door looking for a good Samaritan who would let a fugitive whose face had been flashing all over the news hide in their apartment for some money. Unsurprisingly, he couldn't find anybody. What he did get, though, were lots of phone calls to the police telling them of his whereabouts. Justin was promptly arrested without incident. Just 5 hours later, a gas station employee reported that someone was using fraudulent credit cards at the station and provided the person's plate number. Multiple law enforcement agencies sprang into active pursuit when they realized the car had been stolen. At first, he pulled over when a police officer spotted him, but a short time later, peeled off, leading to a dramatic car chase across the Dixie Highway, ending in a 5-car pileup. The driver of the stolen car was identified as prison escapee Jeremy Hunt. He was bundled to a hospital to treat minor injuries, along with 2 other drivers involved in the crash.
It's like you would think escaped criminals would avoid committing crimes the first couple of days out. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are breaking the law. I mean, escaping prison is breaking the law, but like, you're committing crimes with fraudulent credit cards and already operating stolen vehicles. Like, no one's gonna notice. They're already looking for you. You know what I mean? You're just leaving breadcrumbs so they can find you and charge you with more years.
Other inmates, Tajwan Burton, Gary Bradford, and Justin Rankin, were arrested and charged with 2 counts of facilitating escape for helping them in escape by concealing them in the trash cans and taking them outside. 4 prison employees were also placed on leave. Both inmates have been hit with escape charges. Jeremy faces additional charges for evading police in a vehicle, burglary, and driving with a suspended license, and got 5 years added to their original sentences. That
Damn.
escape had those 2 smelling like spoiled cheese. These next 3 had a much simpler plan, and you won't believe who they got to help
Obvious
them out.
extra,
Number 4,
not worth it.
Aaron Clark, Victor Apodasa, and Ricky Sena. On June 15th, 2018, 3 men, Aaron Clark, Victor Apodasa, and Ricky Sena, inmates of the Curry County Detention Center, New Mexico, escaped the jail in mere minutes. Aaron was facing charges of possession of a firearm, attempted child and identity fraud, Ricky for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and auto theft, and Victor for trafficking and distribution of controlled substances, possession of a firearm, and receiving stolen property. The 3 men had come in from the jail's recreation area, approached the next door, and using a key, got past it in seconds and made their way down the hallway. Next, they were spotted walking briskly down the alley and to the parking lot. Their escape seemed so seamless that the sheriff released a statement that the men must have been working on the plan for months and months. But that was before new evidence came to light. The men had inside help. So what elaborate scheme had the three cooked up to get out of jail?
That seems
Well, it came
too
down
easy.
to this woman, 28-year-old Serena Dodson. She was the jail guard working the control desk at the time. You can guess from her movements that she was nervous about something. And that something was a doozy. Serena essentially did all the work for them. She shut off alarms, gave them keys, unlocked doors, and even gave a false prison head count. All the men had to do was strip off their prison jumpsuits and walk away like distinguished gentlemen, while she stressed out. And all she got for her trouble were flowery words. But her troubles were just beginning. The next morning, Serena was arrested and charged, but the men were still at large. 5 days later, Curry County officials received a tip that the escapees were in an apartment not far from the jail. Curry County deputies and the Clovis Police SWAT team responded to the apartment, leading to a standoff.
Oh my.
Oh, damn.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
3 hours later, the men surrendered peacefully and were taken into custody. They were charged with escape from jail and rebooked into the Curry County Detention Center, as well as the man they were living with. They each got sentenced to 30 years more for their daring escapades. Serena Dodson was sentenced to 9 years in prison for her part in the escape.
Why would you help anybody? Like 9 years for what? You got one job to babysit these prisoners and you're gonna help 3 of them escape? Like, what was the... Every time I see stupid crimes like this, I always ask myself, this couldn't have been the master plan. You know what I mean? Like, you want to give adults more credit than that, whether you're the prisoners or the correctional guard. Like, you want to give them more credit that they're not that dumb, but I mean, it's the world that we living in, bro. I'm gonna holler at you guys in the next video. This was Bizarre Prison Escapes Caught on Camera. Okay. See you at the top.